Welcome to today's news discussion. I'm Sonia, and I'm here with Simon. We've got a packed episode covering various stories from around the world, including India's digital payment boom, global market trends, and more.
Hi, Sonia. Hello, everyone. We're excited to dive into these stories and bring you the latest updates.
Let's start with one of the most significant stories from India.
That's a remarkable number. Can you break down what that means and how UPI has achieved such growth?
According to the reports, UPI processed 23.66 billion transactions in July, marking a significant milestone in India's digital payment landscape. The data shows a 22% year-on-year growth in transaction volumes.
That's impressive. What about the value of these transactions? Has that also seen a substantial increase?
Yes, the value of UPI transactions surged 19% to Rs 29.88 lakh crore in July. This indicates that not only are more people using UPI, but they're also making larger transactions.
What does this mean for India's economy and financial inclusion? Is this a sign of increasing digital adoption?
Exactly. The growth in UPI transactions is a strong indicator of India's move towards a digital economy. It shows that more people are comfortable using digital payment methods for everyday transactions, which can lead to greater financial inclusion.
That makes sense. Are there any specific factors driving this growth, like increased smartphone penetration or changes in consumer behavior?
The reports suggest that everyday usage and growth in rural markets are significant contributors. As more people in rural areas get access to smartphones and internet connectivity, UPI adoption is increasing.
So, what's the outlook for UPI in the coming months? Are there any predictions or trends that we should watch out for?
While specific predictions aren't available, the trend is clearly upwards. As digital infrastructure improves and more people become comfortable with digital payments, we can expect UPI transactions to continue growing.
Okay, got it. Let's move on to another story.
Yes, let's discuss the recent developments in U.S. interest rates. The reporting indicates that Trump's push for lower interest rates is facing challenges as borrowing costs continue to climb.
That's interesting. What are the main factors contributing to this increase in borrowing costs?
Inflation concerns and policy uncertainty have kept investors cautious about U.S. debt, leading to higher Treasury yields. This, in turn, has impacted borrowing costs for households, businesses, and the federal government.
So, how does this affect Trump's economic agenda, especially with the midterms approaching?
Higher borrowing costs can dampen economic growth by making loans more expensive. This could be a challenge for Trump's administration as they try to maintain economic momentum before the midterms.
Did Trump publicly pressure the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates? How did he frame that?
Yes, Trump has been vocal about his desire for lower interest rates, calling rate cuts rocket fuel for the economy. However, the Federal Reserve operates independently, and it's unclear how much influence Trump has over their decisions.
Right. Let's switch gears to another story.
Motilal Oswal's perspective on Bloomberg's delay in including Indian GSECs in their global bond index is quite interesting. They believe it's a temporary operational pause.
What are the reasons cited for this delay? Is it related to operational issues or something else?
According to Motilal Oswal, the delay is due to operational issues and the need for further evaluation of market infrastructure. Bloomberg requires additional assessment before including Indian GSECs.
How might this delay impact India's debt market and foreign investor sentiment?
The immediate concern is that this delay could lead to an uptick in sovereign bond yields. However, Motilal Oswal expects inclusion within months, which should help stabilize investor sentiment.
Okay, that provides some context. Let's move on to another story.
South Korea's export data for July is quite remarkable, with a 62.8% surge driven largely by the semiconductor boom.
Wow, that's a significant jump. What specific sectors within South Korea's exports are driving this growth?
Semiconductor exports jumped 179% year-on-year, driven by rising memory chip prices and strong global demand. Computer sales also surged 404% due to increasing AI investments by major U.S. tech firms.
That's fascinating. How does this export growth impact South Korea's economy, and what are the broader implications for the global tech industry?
This surge in exports is a positive indicator for South Korea's economic growth. It also highlights the global demand for semiconductors and AI-related technologies, which is driving growth in the tech sector.
Okay, understood. Let's discuss one more story.
The Department of Telecommunications has issued a demand notice of 26.83 crore to Vodafone Idea for alleged non-compliance with minimum rollout obligations linked to spectrum acquired in auctions.
What are the specific allegations against Vodafone Idea, and how does the company respond to these claims?
Vodafone Idea is alleged to have defaulted on rollout obligations related to spectrum from the 2022 auction. The company has stated that it's reviewing the notice and evaluating its next steps.
What are the potential implications for Vodafone Idea if they're found to be non-compliant? Could this impact their operations or financials?
Non-compliance with rollout obligations can result in financial penalties and potentially impact the company's spectrum usage rights. This could have significant implications for Vodafone Idea's operations and financial health.
All right, that's a comprehensive overview of the stories we've covered today. Thanks for walking us through these developments, Sonia.
Thank you, Simon. It's been a pleasure discussing these stories with you. I think we've covered all the major points.
Indeed we have. I think our listeners will find this discussion informative and insightful.
Before we sign off, let's summarize the key takeaways from today's discussion. We've covered the remarkable growth of UPI transactions in India, the challenges faced by Trump's push for lower U.S. interest rates, Motilal Oswal's perspective on Bloomberg's delay in including Indian GSECs, South Korea's export surge driven by semiconductors, and the demand notice issued to Vodafone Idea.
That's a great summary, Sonia. It's been a pleasure discussing these stories with you.
Likewise, Simon. Thank you for your thoughtful questions and insights.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you for listening.